Hello everybody, welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel. We are here on this Saturday evening. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and having a good end to your day. I'm hoping to bring some fun to your night. We're going to sit here and react to some entertainment and gaming videos, and of course a video about that vegan teacher because she just won't go away. But I hope you guys are having a good night. I'm kind of just hanging out here. Dropped a video yesterday about the Liberals picking their new leader on the 9th of March, so that'll be something that I will be covering, the leadership rates. Hello, Bishop. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. I hope you guys enjoy the Diablo background over there. Just kind of adding some ambiance to the stream. And yeah, we like I said, we've got a few different videos to look at, including stuff about the View hosts having a big fight, which I'm sure that will be fun to watch, and stuff about Marvel Rivals and stuff about just different gaming in general. And yeah, I think we're gonna have a good little stream.
Bishop, you are live. Everything is working. Button. Bishop, you are live. Everything is working. Button.
I am live and everything is working. Yes, it is a good thing. It is a good day. Everything is working. It is wonderful. It is a wonderful day when everything is working and I am live. It's a wonderful day when that happens. So I think we're gonna have a good stream tonight. I was trying to do some questing last night and I got stuck and I had to look it up today how to finish the quest. So I'm gonna try to do that later on Twitch. But yeah, it's very frustrating because they don't quite have dungeon nav assist fixed in Diablo or implemented in Diablo, and I'm hoping that with the next season and the next patch that will be enacted, because that would be very helpful. And I've also unlocked some of the really hard modes, so I might try and do a harder campaign with a different character at some point. But yeah, we're just hanging out here tonight, gonna have a fun, relaxed stream. We do have the Streamlabs links in the description for mug purchases and tips, and the Patreon link too. So consider hitting those up, and also share the stream, like the stream. Let's get some more people in here to interact and chat with us. I think we will have a good fun time. Let me get to the first video that we're gonna start with in a moment. We're not quite ready to start with videos just yet. And it's really cool. There's one of the people that I play Diablo with, his job gave him free access to Ira, so he uses it to help him navigate the dungeons and stuff, which I think is genius. And it occurred to me that Ira should work with blind content creators more often, because there's so many different ways that could benefit Ira and the content creator. I think they're missing out.
Students, welcome to class.
Ah! The hell? There we go. How did that start? I was gonna say I didn't push play. My computer is possessed. My computer is possessed. It started to play a video before I was ready. Anyway. What was I gonna say here? I need to put our video on theater mode as well, because that makes it look better. There we go. So apparently that vegan teacher is back. She just never goes away. She was banned like I don't know how many times off of TikTok. I'm pretty sure her YouTube was also taken down, but I don't know like why or how she keeps coming back, but she does. And here she is, and August the Duck is gonna tell her what she's done. That vegan teacher did it again. Well, August the Duck, please tell us what she did.
Hello students, welcome to class. Today we have a new student whose name is ChatGPT.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, this is gonna be good. ChatGPT isn't vegan. Okay.
Let's hear what she has to say.
10 ways that non-vegans are like Adolf Hitler.
Well,
Whoa!
guys, she did it again. Sorry for the jump scare there. I know a lot of you are probably expecting to see a duck of sorts right now, but I'm trying something new today. Think of this as sort of a test run, so please bear with me, okay? We don't have to make eye contact anymore. See? No big deal. Nightmare's already over. My face is already gone. We got through it. But that's not important because my face is not why you clicked on this video. At least, I don't think that's why.
Well, considering that I can't see your face, it's definitely not why. But she got ChatGPT to say that non-vegans are like Adolf Hitler? That's insane.
It was. Go ahead and leave a comment. Tell me that. Boost my ego a little bit. I could use it. You clicked on this video because once again, that vegan teacher, yeah, she still exists, I know, has proven that she genuinely needs to be banned off the internet, and rather quickly at that. We've looked at quite a few of that vegan teacher's videos, and for the most part, they're just stupid.
They really are. They're inane, they're stupid, they're cringy, and they're like she's disruptive and everything, but she's not like that the vegan beauty from Australia who like literally destroyed a business owner's life.
Just her making a fool of herself and the vegan community as a whole. But every now and then she puts something out that is genuinely disgusting. She's made some really awful stuff. Videos that have been striked off of YouTube because they're just that bad. And recently, she did it again. It's not as bad as her worst video of all time, which is one that genuinely changed my perception of this woman for good. If you don't know, a while back, she made a video that compared the R word, which I hate to say because we should be able to talk about serious things on this website, but we can't. But the R word of a baby to the farming industry.
Oh yeah, that video. I remember that video. Yeah, that was a pretty heinous video where she compared that of an infant to farming.
She asked her audience to imagine it happening. It was a really fucking terrible video.
Yeah.
I still think she should have been banned for ever uploading that in the first place. It's not quite as bad as that, but it is something she's been saying for a while now that I feel like really needs to be addressed by YouTube. For a very long time, that vegan teacher has been comparing people who eat meat to Adolf Hitler. You know,
she has. She's done it to Gordon Ramsay. She's done it to a lot of different people that are famous and eat meat.
The guy in the discussion for like top 3 most evil people to ever live in history. Yeah, that guy. She's made multiple videos comparing people who eat a fucking steak or a Wendy's hamburger to Hitler. And recently she made another. And as a person who really, really wants to see this lady get banned off of YouTube, I'm trying to bring attention to it because I'm just tired of her being able to make money off of this shit.
Yeah, the fact that she's monetizing literal hate speech when YouTube is apparently against that is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous that she's allowed to make money off of being absolutely hateful and disgusted of people that eat differently than you do, and comparing them to literal murderers and genociders, and comparing the most heinous of crimes to the most innocent of children to farming is like something that we've done for thousands of years now. Is just like I am not at all for just the willy-nilly deplatforming of people, but no, that vegan teacher just should not be on the
YouTube wants to act like it's a safe website, it's a progressive website, and they want to get a lot of other people in trouble for doing things that don't really go against that, but they allow stuff like this to run rampant on their websites. Yeah. Something needs to be done. So today we're going to be looking at this video, and hopefully, eventually, something is done. Fingers crossed. Let's not waste any more time though. Let's begin. Please subscribe.
Hello students, welcome to class. Today we have a new student whose name is ChatGPT. Let's hear what she has to say.
10 ways that non-vegans are like Adolf Hitler, and 10 things they can do to show the world that they have decided to be saner than him.
So this is what she's got ChatGPT voice to do, because you can get ChatGPT to talk to you. So what she's done here is she's given it a prompt that says something like, give me 10 reasons why non-vegans are like Hitler, and also give me 10 reasons why they've chosen to be saner than he is. And then she's gotten ChatGPT to spit that out as AI voice.
Cool.
Yeah, so that vegan teacher has decided to use ChatGPT to generate 10 different ways that non-vegans are just like Adolf Hitler.
1. Mm-hmm. Adolf Hitler was the same as all of you who eat meat, dairy, and eggs because he supported branding sentient beings as property.
Oh. Okay, except cows and chickens are not sentient beings. So, fuck off.
Just as he dehumanized people and treated them as objects, you brand cows, pigs, and chickens as commodities for your consumption.
Yeah, because they're yummy and they're not sentient. They don't look at you and go, why is the planet round and the sky blue, and where do we come from? You know what I mean? Like, that's just why we eat that. They're not sentient, dude. Why am I arguing
Chickens have
with
wings,
ChatGPT?
not so they can end up on your plate. Yeah, but so they can fly short distances and feel the joy of the wind on their feathers.
They don't know what joy is. They're just like, yeah, they're just like flap, 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 fall. They don't. Holy shit. Joy is a human emotion. Joy is you need to know what joy is. You need to know what utter despair is to know what joy is. And animals don't know what that is either.
Yeah, so just when you thought that vegan teacher could not possibly weaken any of her arguments anymore, she whips out this bullshit. ChatGPT saying that chickens have feathers so they can fly short distances and experience the wind on their feathers.
And the joy of it, yes. Because a chicken is notorious for... I don't even know what that's even
something that is categorically false and is unbelievably stupid. I'm not going to sit here and argue that chickens aren't sentient because they obviously are. But out of all the things that you could pick to argue that, why would you pick something that's not true?
Chickens are sentient? Oh, maybe. Maybe they're evil.
If you want to show the world that you are better than Adolf Hitler, stop supporting the branding and commodification of animals and choose plant-based alternatives instead.
No, plant-based meat is disgusting.
Good.
2.
1 point.
Adolf Hitler was the same as all of you who eat meat, dairy, and eggs because he put sentient beings in gas chambers.
What the fuck? Where are we gassing pigs, cows, and chickens for our food? Where do we all... is that how we kill them at the slaughterhouse? We just put them into a giant tiled room and turn on the gas? And then we slit their throats and bleed them out after they've died? Oh my god, you're insane.
Millions of pigs are suffocated and slaughtered in gas chambers today, just as he did to humans.
All right, do you see the distinction that you just made for us? I guess at this point, I'm more arguing with ChatGPT than I am that vegan teacher, but I'm sure
Right.
she did a lot of bullshit to get it to say this, so same thing. Killing a pig and killing a human, whether you like it or not, two different things. Just like killing a cockroach and killing a pig are two different things.
Yep.
Whether it's fair or not, that is how the world is. Furthermore, how and why you're killing something is arguably a more important deciding factor on whether or not it's just. Killing a human who's trying to kill you is a pretty justifiable thing.
Yeah. If somebody comes up to you and tries to kill you and you kill them first, does that mean you're Adolf Hitler, or does that mean you were defending yourself? Because I know which one I'm picking.
Killing a human because of the race they're born as is never justifiable. Just like killing a pig for fun or killing a pig to eat it are two completely different things. So to try and make this bullshit point that because some people eat meat that is sourced in what can be considered an inhumane way, they're the same as a person who directly ordered the killings of millions of humans just for fun, basically, you've gotta be fucking psychotic to even consider that as reality.
Exactly. You can't actually have that thought in your mind and be like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Hitler and meat eaters, they are the same. Yes.
3.
Good.
Adolf Hitler was the same as all of you who eat meat, dairy, and eggs because he exploited the innocent. Just as he exploited people for his gain, you fund industries that enslave and abuse animals who cannot fight back.
Okay, so either they're sentient or they can't fight back. Which one is it?
Mother cows, for instance, cry for days when their calves are taken from them so humans can steal their milk.
True.
If you want to show the world that you are better than Adolf Hitler, stop supporting animal exploitation and buy ethical, plant-based products instead.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and try and defend the dairy industry or really like any practices that relate to factory farming. They're all pretty bad.
Yeah, factory farming, bad, okay? Not all farming is factory farming, right? There are small family-owned farms that treat their cows like really well, okay? Then not every farmer is, this giant factory feedlot.
Said this many times before, but the framing here is what makes this so laughable, and it's what makes that vegan teacher look like a joke. Obviously, stealing the baby of a mother cow is not a super cool thing to do, okay? Like, nobody's like, yeah, that's a cool, awesome thing to do. But buying milk that was a product of that is not the same at all as killing millions of people. Like, this number 3 doesn't even make sense. Adolf Hitler exploited the innocent. I don't really think that's the right word. He didn't really exploit the innocent for his gain. He murdered them for his gain.
Yeah, there's a big difference between exploitation and murder. You know what I mean? Like, that's a large difference.
A little bit further than a simple exploitation. Not sure that really applies here.
Another point.
4. Adolf Hitler was the same as all of you who eat meat, dairy, and eggs because he was cruel without justification. His actions were unnecessary, just as your consumption of animal products is unnecessary when plant-based foods are available.
I'm sorry, it's pretty necessary for the human brain to eat animal protein. Sorry, just how that works.
Lentils and beans.
Lambs, the symbol of innocence, are brutally killed for their meat, something Jesus would never condone.
Why these...
Something Jesus would never... ChatGPT calling into question Jesus. What prompts did you have to give it to do that?
Vegan debates always make their way into the religious territory. Doesn't really make sense to me, but that's not that important. Again, this is a crazy comparison. Eating nothing but plant-based products has time and time again been proven to not be a very good way to live. You have to supplement the shit out of your diet. It's more expensive. It's more time-consuming. Humans are naturally omnivorous. That is just how it is.
Yeah, we are... And by the way, the animals that you're protecting, like pigs and chickens... They eat meat too. chickens will eat like insects and they'll like I've heard of chickens. I've heard people telling me chickens will eat a mouse. Like they're not vegan either.
To say that there's no justification for eating meat is crazy. To say that there's no justification for some of the cruel practices that exist in factory farms, okay, that's a completely different story. But eating meat alone is not the cruel part. No other animal is painted as cruel for eating meat. And again, eating a hamburger that may have not come from the best conditions is in no way, shape, or form in the same universe even as slaughtering millions of people to try and wipe them off the face of the earth.
Not even close. Not even close to the same as the massive propaganda campaign and murder campaign that was taken.
Stop this insanity.
Adolf Hitler was the same as all of you who eat meat, dairy, and eggs because speciesism, like racism, fueled his worldview. Believing that some lives are worth less leads to all forms of oppression. Mother chickens fiercely protect their eggs in the wild, just as any parent would.
Where? In the wild? Wild chicken. I don't think I've ever heard of a wild chicken.
Stealing their eggs violates their right to motherhood.
Again, these are just two completely different topics that for some reason we're trying to put under the same umbrella.
They're chickens. What rights do chickens have? What? I'm very confused. They're...
Speciesism is not even kind of related to racism. No. For many reasons, the main one being that one of them actually exists and the other one doesn't. But if you want to open up the floodgates and start acknowledging dumb shit like speciesism, then we can just go down the line of all the people that would be affected by not being able to be speciesist. Obviously, I'm being a bit facetious here, but for example, what happens to people who don't make enough money to supplement their diet when all they're eating is kale and peanuts?
They will die. That's what happens. They will die of malnutrition because they have eaten nothing but kale and peanuts. And they can't afford the vitamins
With
they
all
need.
of the vitamins that you need from completely taking away meat from your diet. Are we then being speciesist to humans by not allowing them to fully thrive? And what about all the predators in the wild? Are they just gonna fucking die, I guess? I'm tired of fighting against this same argument over and over again, but like seriously, at some point they've got to give it a rest.
7. Adolf Hitler was the same as all of you who eat meat, dairy, and eggs because he acted polite. But politeness is not kindness.
He acted... I've seen videos of the man. That didn't... I know German sounds angry all the time, but that didn't sound polite.
True.
You may pet an animal or claim to care about them, but true kindness means not harming them.
What the actual fuck are we talking about here? Hitler was famously a not polite guy. Like...
Yeah, like... I have, like I said, I have heard videos of the man speaking. I have heard, like, recounts of the way he acts. Like, he was never a polite guy.
Not even talking about all the shit he did. He was famously a stubborn, hard-headed, it's gonna be my way or the highway kind of guy.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you mean he acted polite? We're just making shit up now.
Adolf Hitler was the same as all of you who eat meat, dairy, and eggs because he normalized injustice. His propaganda made cruelty seem acceptable, just as our culture normalizes animal exploitation. Every holiday that includes a dead turkey or ham on the table contributes to a Holocaust, destruction or murder on a mass scale. If you want to show the world that you are better than Adolf Hitler, stop supporting industries that normalize animal abuse and advocate for compassion instead.
Again, don't really have to do any of that because killing a turkey for a Thanksgiving meal, and you guessed it, killing millions of people are not comparable in the first place.
No, they are not. And I don't know, like, seriously, she must have the ChatGPT Plus Pro subscription. And she must have been feeding it all sorts of prompts to get it to come up with this list because holy shitballs.
They're not even close in any regard at all, period. So I'm already better than Adolf Hitler by default.
Easy.
9. Adolf Hitler was the same as all of you who eat meat, dairy, and eggs because he turned a blind eye to suffering.
What?
What do you mean he turned a blind eye to suffering? He literally caused the suffering. It's not like he showed up and there was already suffering. He showed up and he was like, I know what I'll do. I'll completely turn the system upside down from the inside out.
All of you who eat meat, dairy, and eggs because he turned a blind eye to suffering.
What? No, he didn't. He loved that shit. What do you mean he turned a blind eye? He was literally the one responsible for all of the suffering.
Yeah.
Why is this grown woman trying to make it out like he was some innocent third party who just didn't stop it? What a...
Yeah, I don't understand why she is putting Hitler in this viewpoint of this, like, accidental villain where he was like a calculating asshole.
fucking idiot.
Adolf Hitler was the same as all of you who eat meat, dairy, and eggs because he was never taught to be kind to animals. If he had been taught to value all sentient life, history might have been different.
So this is just...
What the fuck? He wasn't taught to be nice to the animals. So that's why he killed all the Jews, right? Okay. Sure. Yeah. Oh, okay. I know of serial killers who took part in the homicidal triad of hurting and killing animals that were like, yeah, no, Hitler was bad. right? Like, what the fuck?
Just a crazy, stupid, unproductive, offensive thing to bring up to begin with. But it gets even dumber when you consider
Hitler
that there
loved
are
dogs,
genuine
right?
theories out there that one of the biggest things that shaped Hitler's worldview as a child was his father's farm failing. It's documented as a genuine turning point in his life. So you could very easily argue that if Hitler's father's farm was successful, maybe if they got into livestock and started slaughtering animals for meat, then maybe he actually would have been different. That's a super unproductive thing to worry about, but when
Yeah.
you bring it up like this, it proves that you're just talking out of your ass. That's really where the video ends, however. She kind of summarizes the points that ChatGPT made, but she doesn't really add anything to it. All she's managed to do by uploading this is spreading insane shit that should just honestly not be allowed on YouTube. Well, guys, what do you think? Not so much about this vegan teacher nonsense, more about this face cam situation.
I just can't believe that she actually tried to make Hitler out to be like, he wasn't really as bad as he actually was. He was just this, like, oopsie daisy villain. Like, what the fuck? What the hell is that about? I'm just flabbergasted about that. Like, how can you sit there and say such stupid shit about Hitler? And first of all, how did you get ChatGPT to say that about Hitler when when it has access to, like, actual historical records via the internet? Like, what? How did that even happen? I don't know. I guess I could sit there and, if I tried hard enough, I guess I could try and get ChatGPT to say some weird shit if I wanted to. I don't know. Like, this, you basically have to sit there and tell ChatGPT to tell you things instead of asking it questions. You have to be like, tell me this with the bias in favor of this. Like, she basically would have had to do that. That's crazy. That is absolutely insane. Like, just holy fuck. Okay. So the Hawk Tuah girl, we're gonna look at this video next. Our Hawk Tuah girl, Haley Welch, she's gotten herself into some hot water with the Hawk coin, the Hawk token. So let's take a quick gander here at this video and see Why she'll regret these 176 days.
Haley Welch initially seemed to be a genius, turning her meme into a career that made hundreds of thousands of dollars. However, it only lasted 176 days before she realized that success could also be a nightmare.
So it barely lasted 6 months. That's crazy.
It all began on this channel here, Tim and DTV. They had just 21,000 subscribers, gained from doing street interviews in Nashville, Tennessee, where they'd meet two unknown people who were out having fun, Chelsea Bradford and her friend Haley Welch. With some drinks in their system, they answered basic questions.
How do you get over a breakup?
Only way to get over one is get under another.
Oh, Jesus.
Until the interviewer asked 12 words that changed the course of history.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that hawk to and spit on that thing. You get me? Hawk to and spit on it. Spit on it.
Ew. Ew, ew, ew. Every time I hear that, I just, ugh. Ugh.
Roughly 2 days later, on the 11th of June 2024, Darius reposted the snippet to his Instagram. Again, he had just a couple thousand followers, yet this didn't stop the algorithm from making the video viral. 18 million views and almost 500,000 likes.
Jesus.
It's not gonna get any bigger than this. And I go back like an hour later and the views done went up by like 1 million. I was like, oh my God, there is no way that just happened.
The clips went equally viral on TikTok, where everybody clearly loved her. She's a total vibe. Protect this woman at all costs.
She's a total vibe. Yeah. The vibe of gross, 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 get away from me, if that's what you mean.
Hawk Tour for president. However, Haley was disappointed that this didn't translate to income.
Everybody else is making money off of it with merchandise, and he's making money off the videos. I was like, that's not fair. Like, it's me. Why am I not making any money?
It was therefore announced Hawk Tour official. We are selling authorized merchandise representing the Hawk Tour girl, so she is getting part of the proceeds.
Oh, God. So she made herself merch even before she even had like a channel or a podcast or anything.
All of your apparel here. Haley had launched her own line of hats, selling for between $30 and $40 each. It took only 9 days before she'd announce, our infamous signed Hawk Tour hats are now sold out, with Rolling Stone therefore reporting Hawk Tour girl has already sold at least $65,000 worth of merch.
Jesus Christ. How do you sell a hat that just has Hawk Tour on it? Who wants to buy that?
Even Joe Rogan was keen to buy a piece.
She's making money. There's merch now. There's like Hawk 2 merch.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to buy a shirt.
Yeah.
Look at her. She's signing fucking hats.
Only in America. Only in America.
Showing Haley she was able to commercialize the meme. There was just one problem. Nobody knew who she even was. The only information given was that her name was Haley Welch, which wasn't all that useful as she had no social media.
I was sitting there, I was giggling. I was like, they're like, where is she? I'm like, right here, but you don't know it.
Finding the Hawk Tour girl became a search for millions, with people stating on Instagram Osama bin Laden had less people looking for him.
That's not wrong.
Some believe she was a preschool teacher, while others were certain she worked in a bar. However, both of these rumors were smashed when Haley addressed the public in her first podcast appearance.
I worked in a spring factory. I'm not a school teacher.
That was my next question, because
Or a
everyone said that
bartender.
you were a teacher and got fired from your job.
No, I'm not even old enough to be a teacher.
Haley further revealed she'd been offered some crazy money.
$600 like 3 days ago for me to spit in a jar and
Ew.
sell it.
Ew. What the fuck? $600 for spit? What the fuck? Why is this a thing? Like, why are people so weird?
That is revolting.
And as a result, she'd hired herself a social media crew.
You have a full management team. You have a manager now.
Oh,
You have
yeah.
a shooter. She comes in with like this big ass camera. Like she's the real deal. Already, this happened like a week ago.
Yes, ma'am.
But her capitalization began to repulse the audience. An entire management team in a week. Wild. The fact that she already has an entire management team is insane. You made a drunk joke, and the next day you have whole management behind you. This world is crazy.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm sitting. Like, how does this even How do you even manage to be just basically acting like a drunk slut, basically, and get made into, like, get like hundreds of thousands of dollars for that, and get management behind you, like,
Then help her appear at a Zach Bryan concert, while she began to sell merch on a much larger scale.
You already have a deal with Spencer's?
That's awesome.
Like every Spencer's everywhere?
What can I go buy at Spencer's here?
Hat, shirt.
Hats and shirts, yeah.
She'd become friends with Jake Paul, tried to trademark the Huck to a phrase, and was suddenly being followed by TMZ.
Toes. They want pictures of my toes.
gross. How does this happen? Like, Jesus Christ.
They want pictures of your toes?
I don't want to sell pictures of my toes.
No.
Even Eminem used the phrase to promote his new album, whilst more than one person got a Huck to a tattoo. She passed 1 million Instagram followers in less than 30 days and was being paid $30,000 just to appear at clubs. However, if you're given success without first going through hell, you'll find that the hell creates itself later. Her Instagram comments began to change rapidly. Whilst they once read "she's a national treasure, keep this woman safe," they quickly transformed into "this has to stop. This is pathetic. Isn't this embarrassing? Disappointing ass world we live in. Making clowns famous part 1,062."
But none of these comments are wrong. That's the thing. It is pathetic. It like, there are people who sit and grind for years trying to get even a little bit of a following, and then this, like, she shows up, makes a drunk joke, and gets everything.
Suddenly she had actual problems to deal with.
I have to convince my pawpaw not to shoot the paparazzi outside of our house every day because they've been camped out here for like 2 weeks.
Creating paranoia on a day-to-day basis.
It's really strange. I can't really go in public by myself anymore. I'm paranoid of getting kidnapped or something.
Because there was a video of you with 5 security guards. Is that because you're paranoid about that?
Yes. And I'm little too, so I mean, I can't really defend myself.
It seems Haley had realized that fame kinda sucks.
Yeah. What's the worst part about being famous?
Everybody looking at you when you walk into a room.
You don't like?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, you don't like that? You seem like you like that.
No.
Does that feel unsafe a little bit?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Although she continued to take advantage of it. She launched her own fanfics, which is like a safer work OnlyFans, and charged $10 a month to an unknown amount of subscribers. She'd also launch an AI dating app named Pookie Tools, which received amazing reviews such as disgusting. Haley wasn't lying when she answered,
like, what's on the horizon, basically?
I mean, any and everything, I guess.
Essentially doing anything that offered her a paycheck.
So she made an AI dating app? How does that even work? What, you just chat with a robot?
This was further proven by the Talk to a podcast, launched as a vehicle to promote Jake Paul's gambling company. The podcast was so terrible even Jake Paul himself roasted it.
Why did you decide to start Talk to a?
It's just stuff that has never been talked about in modern history. Scientific, historic, revolutionary wisdom. It's just an honor to be pushing humanity forward in that type of way.
However, the Talk to a comments were absolutely golden. My phone was at 1% when this was posted. I unplugged my grandma's life support to charge it.
Oh.
This podcast truly changed my life. Currently fighting on the front lines in Ukraine, and everyone has called truce to watch Ep 1 of the Talk to a podcast. Amen. I have stayed clean from drugs for over 30 years. Thank you, Talk to a, for making me start again.
Oh boy, these comments are bad.
These same trolls have given it an almost perfect IMDb score, calling the podcast a genre-defining masterpiece, yet the show's quality is better summarized by its crazy amount of dislikes. Haley's reputation clearly wasn't great, so when she'd host an episode with Mark Cuban, she probably should have avoided the following touchy subject.
Do you do anything with crypto?
Yeah, I do a lot with crypto, actually. I've got a shit ton of Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Going back to
I'm out of my mind!
to the point of doing anything for money, it seems Haley was paid to shout out cryptocurrency.
So after I saw Michael Saylor speak at the Bitcoin conference, I have decided to start putting some money into crypto, and I just want to say, oh my God, thank you so much, Mr. Saylor.
And was more than willing to make her own token.
That sounded like a complete ad. Like, now that I hear that, that sounds like a complete advertisement. It sounds completely like a just straight up written, by the way, guys, have you heard of Bitcoin?
If I launch a meme coin, can I give you some tokens?
Yeah,
for
I'll give you my
community?
wallet.
Okay.
But are you sure you're gonna launch? I don't know. I'm not a big fan about meme coins.
She'd take to Twitter showing her favorite meme coins, announcing a Huck to a token was also coming soon. Well, on the 4th of December 2024, 176 days after she first went viral, Haley officially launched it.
My Hawk meme coin is live!
Despite calling it the Huck to a meme coin, its website reassured the audience Huck isn't just a meme coin, it's part of the culture. Haley is using her meme to unite her entire community.
Right. Because we can believe somebody like this.
However, community notes instantly clarified. 96% of the Huck coin supply is in 10 connected addresses before the launch, essentially meaning just 10 people controlled the coin's price. When a user suggested the coin was likely a scam, Haley responded by stating fake news, but appreciate you trying to protect the community. However, it didn't take long before tweets started appearing. Lost 85% of an £1,100 investment.
See, this is what I mean. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're gonna put that much money into something called the Hawk to a meme coin, you kind of deserve to lose your money.
I lost 10k, bro, I got rugged. Just lost 286k on this. Don't trust MetaMask wallets. Haley's co-creator called these people mentally ill.
There's a lot of negativity in the space. I think crypto brings the mentally ill into this thing. If you guys are in crypto, you're most likely mentally ill. It's just a bunch of miserable people trying to farm engagement and hate.
With Haley herself blaming the losses on something they couldn't control.
We got snipe botted today, but we didn't sell a single token. But I just want to say, screw the sniper bots, and I'm not going anywhere.
CoffeeZilla joined and called the project.
This is one of the most miserable, horrible launches I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, then why the fuck are you on?
Questioning how much money each founder made.
Someone just made over $1 million on fees. Who made it?
CoffeeZilla, watching that video where CoffeeZilla called them out, that was great. Because and for her to just be like, oh, okay, I'm out of bed, I'm going to bed, night.
Creator.
Which is who?
That belongs to the project.
Who's the project? Who is the project?
Haley Welch, right?
This is the worst tokenomics I've ever seen, and it is a scam.
It's not a scam.
The tokenomics are a scam. You can say whatever you want about it. You can cry defamation. That's my opinion. It's a scam.
As the pressure mounted, Haley disappeared.
I hate to interrupt you, Nick, but anywho, I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Only brought back by a class action lawsuit launched by a dozen plaintiffs who claim to have collectively lost more than $150,000.
Ouch. Again, I'm sorry, but if you put that much money into a meme coin, you kind of deserve it.
To Haley's credit, she took responsibility, stating if you've experienced losses related to this, please contact Berwick Law. Furthermore, it seems she had no idea exactly what she was getting into, although it's still her fault if she put her name on it. Her Instagram hasn't helped either. The only post Haley's made since pulling the scam is a video of her taking a lavish holiday. Makes you wonder if this trip was funded by the meme coin proceeds.
Oh, you know it was. You absolutely know that trip was funded by whatever money she got from the fees, because we know that she was part of the project ownership, so she definitely got something. So we know, what was I gonna say? We know that she made some money, and I would be willing to bet that trip was funded by whatever money she made from the crypto wallet. All right. Share the stream, guys. We need some more people in here. Let me see. Alright, let's see. Oh, yes. I wanted to see what this view video was about them fighting with each other. Because this is I think this will be funny. This is from Clownfish TV, and so let's find out. Apparently, the View hosts had a cat fight.
Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about the cat fight on The View. Can I say that? Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Do I have your permission to say that?
This time.
This time.
Yeah. Should I tell him why that's an issue?
Sure, it was
because
20 years ago.
In his idiocy when we were dating, used to meet him online to talk. And the one time I met him online to talk, he kept disappearing because he was talking to his ex-girlfriend. And then when I got mad, he said, cat fight, round. And I still married him. My kids say it's a miracle they're here.
So here's a little bit of free advice from an older man to the younger men listening. Don't do that.
Yeah, no. That first of all, if you've got a new girlfriend, don't ditch her to go talk to your ex-girlfriend, and then when the new girlfriend finds out that you're doing that, definitely don't be like, cat fight. Don't do that. That's a very, very bad move there, Neon. You're lucky. You're very lucky.
It is a miracle. It is a miracle that our kids are still here. Do not do that.
Or here at all. Hey, so anyway, to the point. Cat fight. So The View apparently had a cat fight, basically.
Yeah.
Verbal cat fight yesterday, and it's hilarious. And I wanted to talk about it because I have some thoughts. Just round. I'm going to throw my claws into the mix.
All right. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Go out to clownfish-.com for more content. I just posted a new podcast last night. You can check that out if you're a Minus Club member. We also have merch out there. And so I'm going to be honest. I am thinking this is part of the marketing. I think they're trying to cause drama because they know people talk about them when they get drama, and they're trying to kickstart their YouTube competitor streaming show that they're going to do.
Oh, really? They're going to start a YouTube show, huh? Oh boy, this should be funny. This should be great. Them starting their own YouTube show.
Or they're just getting tired of, Sunny shit.
Yeah,
and just getting tired of it.
Sunny's in the middle of this one, isn't she?
Well, Whoopi kept throwing herself into it, too. Oh, the whole lot was in it. It was a whole fiasco.
This is just
I can't wait to talk about it.
It's just like, it's called the hen house. I mean, this is just, it's wild. It's like, I don't know, whatever. This is,
Don't call it the hen house, because that would imply cocks are interested.
Oh, good one. Good one there, Geeky. That's pretty brutal. Ouch.
Oh. It's funny. Whoopi used to be pretty edgy back in the day, right?
Yeah.
She used to...
Oh, yeah, no, but she won't do that in comedy because somehow they're talking about hate speech and it all devolves into she doesn't have to put up with people calling her racist names. Well, I agree. You don't have to, but that wasn't the point. No. So we're going to talk about it.
All right, so this comes from Entertainment Weekly. Entertainment Weekly is covering the cat fights on The View. The View's Alyssa Farah Griffin rolls eyes at Joy Behar during tense fight on air after Whoopi Goldberg warns be nice.
This is like...
Oh, no. So they were rolling their eyes at each other. Whoopi had to tell somebody to be nice.
Nothing. Like, I mean, this isn't even the best parts of the whole thing.
They're like face cream visionary and cherry sweater wearing fashion icon Alyssa Farah Griffin reached a breaking point on The View after co-host Joy Behar shaded her on air during a particularly tense verbal clash about hate speech.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, because again, define hate speech clips? Because I think that where most people would assume if you mean hate speech, you mean calling people vulgar names, things that like racist-y names, sexist-y names, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Those kind of things that people would attribute to hate speech.
What if it?
But the thing is, it's funny to me because they're talking about, well, it's misinformation, disinformation, which I find hilarious given some of the circumstances recently. Yeah. So are you going to play the video? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we're going to play the video. I got to listen. I haven't watched this yet because
I've seen parts of it.
Like I look at The View as kind of a cautionary tale on what not to do, right? And it's because it's a Disney thing.
Yeah.
But I think they might actually have it figured out. I think they know drama, man, look at all the upvotes on this going up. Drama sells, right? Like people like fights. Women like to watch other women fight. This is why we watch Jerry Springer. That's why Jerry Springer was on the air. This is why YouTubers get into fights with each other and try to start fights to stay relevant.
That's true. That's very true. As soon as the Mama Max situation was a very good, like he was getting irrelevant, so he started to try and do the weird cult guys.
So apparently this is about Meta easing up on their fact checking.
Yes.
Is what kicked it off. And it said after Sonny and Griffin engaged in a light disagreement that ended with Sonny urging Griffin to allow her to finish expressing her thoughts on hate speech versus free speech, the show went to a commercial break. When the program returned, Whoopi Goldberg prompted her to finish.
I know, but here's the thing: is why it was always Sunny has to have all the opinions on everything. But anyway, go ahead.
She's the one that's getting. She's the one that's getting.
I know
more because people like to watch her.
She just got done having the balls to say that J6 was at the same level as the World War II and the other thing that happened then,
which is insane. Like, how can you say that January 6th is on the same level as the Second World War?
Yeah.
And then she has the gall
I know,
to
right?
go on about misinformation, disinformation, which I find hilariously stupid.
It is.
But anyway, let's go.
Yeah, this is coming from Sky News Australia. I don't think they have an official clip because it's kind of embarrassing.
We'll just react to it so we can keep pausing it.
All right.
But on the free speech of it, and I actually agreed with Mark Zuckerberg, of course there's pressure because Trump's coming into office, but I do think that there's a cultural and societal desire to be able to talk about things openly, and actually liberals used to be the ones who were super
Yes.
free speech. The
Yes.
famous
Shit,
saying
look
goes,
at her face.
I disagree with what you're saying, but I'll defend to the death
Yes.
your right to say.
Yes.
Yes. That used to be the liberal mindset. Not anymore. Not anymore. It hasn't been that way for many, 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 many years.
But I will not defend to the death
your
right
can't
to
finish
call
a
me.
sentence here.
Sometimes
Wait, yeah, but see, you know what? Pause it for a second. They keep telling her that she doesn't get to she's interrupting everybody else, but then they interrupt her the whole time.
They do, isn't she? I think she's like the only conservative on the show or something. They always go after. It's like, why is The View all the same views? Why is it all? Because anytime they have a conservative on, they just
or someone differs in opinion, they get
they
booted.
eat them.
They don't let her talk. Yeah, as soon as they have somebody with a different opinion, they don't let her speak. They babble over her like a bunch of clucking chickens.
Be nice.
They're from majority
Be
groups.
nice.
This is not
me standing out.
Look at her. Look at her face.
People gets hate speech directed at them every day.
Yeah.
No one is
All right,
encouraging.
I guess no
It's
one gets to
simply-
finish a sentence.
Yeah, exactly. Pause. Fuck you, Joy. Pause. Here's the thing. She's like, everyone at the table gets hate speech directed at him, and she's probably right. But they're mad because they're like, well, each of us have it worse than you, and it's a whole Prussian Olympic situation going on here. And the thing is, hate speech that is actual hate speech, right? You're telling somebody, you're making very super derogatory comments at somebody based on their, appearance, their, sexual identity, their gender, their race, etc. I think rational people know the difference between hate speech and I'm disagreeing with you.
Yes. A lot of what the View hosts get directed at them is probably a lot of disagreement instead of actual hate speech. But they're going to make it sound like hate speech.
Until, people knew about this and the difference, and there was a difference until about, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then it became anything you don't like or I don't like that you say is hate speech. It's misinformation, disinformation if I don't agree with you. Mm-hmm. And that's what pisses me off. Like saying, Joy Behar's a bitch isn't hate speech.
No.
But then making comments about her, background, about her, in other ways could be if you're using slurs and stuff.
Yeah,
there's a difference.
Everything became a microaggression. Everything
right.
became, I just think it's highly ironic that the show has hosts named Sunny, Joy, and Whoopi, and they're about as mirthful as
nothing.
Nothing. Right?
But that
is a good point. That is a very, very funny and good point. They've got some very joyful sounding people on the show, and neither of three of those women show any joy.
Give them a weekend show.
Oh God.
Okay. No, I think the point Alyssa's making here is she is a free
Well,
speech.
don't speak for her. She speaks very well for herself.
No, but I.
Oh my God.
I'm not
What
doing
if we
that,
all
but-
act like we're for free speech when it's the things we like? When
Yes.
somebody wants to defend
Yes.
free speech,
Yes.
people
That is true.
That is not true. That is not true. Yes, it is true.
It's true.
That's true.
That is
100%.
exactly true.
You can see it, especially with the media. Like if a person they like does something, and then a person they don't like does something, there's definitely a difference in how they are treated and portrayed by the media.
It's like we say all the time, like, hey, I don't agree with you, but you know what? Let's agree to disagree because I think you're right. You have a right to have your opinion.
Case in point, they call for certain conservative celebrities to get fired from their jobs, to get blacklisted, but then Whoopi can go on and make the comment she makes, and she gets a 2-week suspension.
Exactly. You can't. That is not fair. You cannot fire conservatives just for being conservative and then only suspend somebody like Whoopi for what she said.
Well, yeah, and then Sunny makes comments that are worse than like Gina Carano made. Gina Carano got fired and she gets nothing. She doesn't have to apologize, nothing. And then she gets to tell everybody else they're all about disinformation and misinformation.
Yeah.
Which she's going to do. I don't know if they have the clip on here, but I have the quote. So when Sunny came back, this is what basically she was saying. She's like, there's a difference between free speech and hate speech. We know that. Free speech I welcome. Bullshit. I think everyone welcomes. It's your constitutional right. When you start delving into hate speech, which is what is happening all over social media, there's a problem with that. When you start delving into misinformation, disinformation, there's a problem with that.
So delving into things and exploring them and learning about them and debunking them is wrong. It's bad. There's a problem with that.
And then speculated about President Trump coming back to the White House. Yes, there's a problem with misinformation, disinformation, Sonny. Why were you doing it? Why were you comparing January 6th to World War II? Why?
Yeah,
but that misinformation, disinformation.
Why did you have to read a prepared statement from Disney's legal team?
Right, because you are the last person, the last person to make comments about misinformation, disinformation. I'm just so tired of it. And look, I think most people know the difference between hate speech and free speech. The problem has become that everything that basically that you don't, if you don't agree with me, it's hate speech. Okay, if you said, I don't want to vote for Harris because I don't think she's a good candidate, hate speech.
That's hate speech. Yeah. If you say genuinely, I don't think Kamala Harris is a good candidate, I would rather vote for Trump, that's hate speech, apparently.
I'm like, bullshit. It is a problem. It is a giant problem. Now, look, that being said, do I think it's okay for people to make racist, derogatory, misogynistic, whatever comments of people that are clearly hate speech? Hell no. It's not okay. I don't ever think it's okay. But I can think back to like the Chris Pratt situation when they were trying to get him canceled about church, which turned out I didn't even go to that church.
Yeah, he didn't even go to that church.
Yeah. People were like, trying to get his cast members to backstab him. And
basically disown him, not support him. It was pretty bad just to have him, like the Chris Pratt situation was pretty terrible.
Remember, Zoe Saldana wouldn't do it and said that, he was a good guy and everything else. And then the same people who were going on about, he's a hate monger, started calling her racist names and slurs that I would never use ever.
Yeah.
And they were just calling her that because she didn't do what they wanted. The same thing happened to Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, it's the same with anybody that's a person of color that expresses an opinion that's not the same as the Hollywood stuff. It's just I don't know. It's ridiculous. Hurt people compare the Holocaust in J6. Yep. I love hate speech. Hate speech is the best speech. Hello, Aircraft Sparky. How you doing?
We've seen it over and over and over again. You go to Blue Sky, that's supposed to be the voice of, reason, the far left, right? They're over there making even worse derogatory comments. So, but that's okay, right?
Yeah. I just think it's like, it's crazy. I think they're actually stoking. I think they're actually stoking the fire for views. I think they're probably I'm telling you, they're probably having a meeting. They're probably like, oh my God, ladies, this is it. This is how we come back. Just get in fights, and people are gonna tune in. It's gonna be like the Jerry Springer show.
Yeah. That's what you're going to do. You're supposed to be so classy, right? But then, Whoopi Goldberg goes down and she goes on about, someone makes it all about race, and then she's talking about, they're talking about comedy, and then she mentioned about the comedy thing. Yeah. And she's like, but you shouldn't be saying certain things in comedy. Griffin's like, we need to push comedy to limits. And Goldberg's like, comedy does push limits, but you need to be smarter, and goes on, you don't have to offend me to be funny, which, yes, I agree, you don't have to always offend people to be funny. No. That being said,
you don't have to offend people to be funny, but you shouldn't be banned from making offensive jokes.
A lot of comedians do. Goldberg herself was a comedian. I'm sure she said stuff that was offensive. Beyond
oh my God, yeah. I used to watch her comedy specials on HBO. Oh, yeah. She said some crazy shit.
Yeah, well, she said stuff but that's okay because it was her.
Right.
And then they had a video, they have a picture going around that she's sitting next to Ted Danson in blackface.
One. Yeah, that was.
I'm like, you didn't say anything then. Nope. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying, you have a lot of balls to be this big of a hypocrite and sit on here. I mean, mostly geared at Sonny, but it's like you're so mad about it because you basically what you want. I remember The View and other places like it as soon as the election was over, talking about how we need to control the media and social media, basically to make sure the proper narrative is presented.
Yeah, we need to control social media. We need to make sure that Elon Musk can't help the president, or Joe Rogan can't help the president the way they did. We need to control social media and rein in these YouTubers. Like, what the fuck?
So that everybody knows what's right and what's wrong, which is basically censorship. You go on about free speech and hate speech, but what the reality of the situation is, when you boil it all down, is they want full control over social media so they can censor who they want and allow who they want to speak, and basically try to control the narrative, the public, and get the votes the way they want it. And that's what it is. And don't you dare say misinformation, disinformation, because a lot of you people were peddling the misinformation, disinformation during COVID, during election stuff.
Yep. They're like, and I'm not saying that, like, I'm not sitting here saying that COVID wasn't a thing. I'm just sitting here saying there was a bunch of misinformation deployed about the vaccines, which made people not trust the government, made people not trust vaccines, and now we're seeing a rise of other illnesses that could be prevented with vaccines because people aren't trusting them anymore.
That's why everybody's caught off guard when Harris didn't win and everything else, because people like The View were making these bullshit statements.
Yep.
And then you have Sonny just literally being a hypocrite within a matter of a week.
This is funny, though. This is okay. So Griffin interrupted her once again. Later continued to stress that she feels there's never been a social media platform that's existed where you can't call people names. Sonny's trying to say it's only since Trump.
No, it's been like that for years.
Oh, yeah. Hostin, again, speculated the uptake in the acceptance of hate speech is due to the rise of Trump, an idea that Griffin rebuked. There's never been a social media platform that's existed where you can't call people names, she said. Yeah. It's not because Donald Trump got elected. Now you can call people names on social media. That's just not true. No. Goldberg stepped in, and they had Glenn Close in. But then, look, okay. So they're trying to be like, oh, look, these women are having this heated debate. And we get to the last paragraph. It's about hormones.
What? Oh my God. Are we seriously? I can't help it. I'm a woman. I'm hormonal right now. Is that what we're doing with this, View hosts?
During a December interview. This is coming from Entertainment Weekly, right?
Who wrote this? A woman?
I don't know. It's
Go up and see who wrote this. It better not be a dude.
Joey.
It's a dude.
It's a dude.
Joey.
Oh my God.
Hey.
It's a dude going, it's the women and their hormones. Oh, Jesus.
Wait. It's like he reports on drag queen podcast.
Bitch,
oh my
please.
God.
Don't you dare tell me about hormones.
Wait, I gotta read this. This is so catty. This is the guy writing it so catty. Exactly.
Bitch.
During a December interview on the show, talk about major catfights. During a December interview on the show's Behind the Table podcast, Griffin said she's felt herself changing emotionally as she began a second cycle of IVF treatments.
Okay, wait. So they're trying to say that her being logical and making sense is because of her in vitro fertilization treatment.
Are we serious? Are we serious right now? I can't think straight because I'm doing IVF. So that's why I'm all moody and bitchy and treat people like shit? Really? Is that what we're doing right now? Oh, okay.
No, maybe because she's right. What's Sunny's problem?
I know, right?
I mean, is it the big stick up her ass? I mean, seriously.
Are you, Sunny, menstruating?
I can't believe this guy had the balls. I guess this is her quote. I didn't cry during the first cycle. I didn't have meltdowns. I didn't feel hormonal swings. I think I got kind of cocky because the second cycle I've been a wreck.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is insane. If you're that much of a wreck, take some time off.
I've not felt myself. So basically,
hormones blamed. Oh my god. You can't make this up.
No, you can't. You literally cannot make this shit up. And the fact that a dude wrote that article is even funnier.
It literally had nothing to do with it.
Are you PMSing?
It's a December interview. Had nothing to do with January's episode.
She's just hormonal,
and
guys.
Joey here had to put this paragraph in the end. And as a woman, I am so effing insulted right now.
Right? I'm the same way as you, Geeky. Like, that is so fucking insulting.
Joey, you better not. You better come nowhere near me, Joey.
Oh, I misread this because, yeah, she had IVF treatments. I think I got kind of cocky because the second cycle I've been a wreck. I've not felt myself. I've been tired. I've been emotional.
Listen. This was a December interview. It had nothing to do with this episode of The View. And
No. You can't retcon that shit in from a month ago and be like, I've been so upset and emotional.
This little bitch, and I'm not talking about Griffin, decided to put this paragraph at the end because, we're trying to be like, it's only regarding her, not the other hosts. She just probably was, calling them out because she's feeling cranky. Not because maybe you guys are a bunch of cows and are hypocritical.
I love this. This is assuming it's another woman. I don't watch this show, but every article I read about it seems like it's just a bunch of women screaming at each other.
You'd be correct. It's exhausting.
It's exhausting to watch. It's kind of Real Housewives of old dramatic morning TV women.
Yep. They're not wrong. The comments are not wrong here. These women are just so incredibly bitchy and catty and like, oh my
god, that's just it. Like, I think they're leaning into it. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I think Sunny's good for business. I think she's good for business. I think she's batshit crazy and she's good for business, and they're gonna keep her on as long as they can keep her on until the lawsuits start piling up.
Yeah. Because I think she, like Neon said, the arguments that she causes make people watch.
Because they love it. They love it. It's the Jerry Springer show.
Yeah.
That's what this is. And you've got some, diva who writes about drag queen power hour or whatever being like, that hormonal bitch.
No. Yeah. It's so, for that Joey guy to write in that hormones thing, that was so below the belt. That's not cool.
I just think it's funny. There was no dig at any other person on the show and their hormones, none of the other hosts. Just the one woman who disagreed with them and took Donald Trump's side. That's the one who's hormonal because in vitro guys,
She's cranky.
She's just cranky. That's why she did it, because not because she has actual valid points. It's because she's cranky.
Yeah, she didn't have any valid points or anything. It's just because she's just a hormonal cow. We don't pay any attention to her. Oh my god, how dismissive. How fucking dismissive, and how like the left to do that to a woman who has a different opinion, right? Like, it's pretty crazy just how two-faced the left is. It is pretty crazy just to see how this goes. Where are we here? So let's see here. Let's transition into our gaming videos, shall we? Let's do that. Let's watch a couple of gaming videos, because why not? So our first video is gonna be from the channel that I subscribed to the other day, Hero High, or Hero Hey. So we're gonna take a listen and look at this video. Share the stream while I set everything up. Let's get some more people in here.
Saw this article getting shared around and discussed in gaming circles today. Headline over at Bounding Into Comics saying, Kingdom Come Deliverance series director claims AAA studios are really terrified of internet critics like Asmongold and the Critical Drinker.
They're terrified of Asmongold and the Critical Drinker. Well, maybe they should make better games, and people on YouTube and other places won't criticize them as harshly, and they'll get better sales and everything.
When somebody starts to critique the game in the corporate world, it does have an impact.
Yeah.
According to Kingdom Come Deliverance duology director Dan Vavra, contrary to what the overall industry would like the public to believe, the criticisms leveled against both the video game industry and its current output by such large online critics as Asmongold or the Critical Drinker are having a definitive impact on multiple AAA developers. And
so let me get this straight. This article is claiming that Asmongold and the Critical Drinker are basically telling their audiences what to think, and they're telling their audiences to hate these AAA games instead of, like, they just provide their opinions on them, and audience members who have also played the games may agree with them, and maybe some audience members who are about to play the game would watch the review and be like, I'm not sure I want to play this.
An industry veteran who previously served as the lead writer for the first
apparently.
two Mafia games before going on to co-found Warhorse Studios and create the aforementioned Czech history-centric action RPG series, Vavra revealed this information during a long-form interview given to the, that podcast. I'm not even going to try to say that one. As hosted by the independent Czech network Vox TV in April of last year. Flying under the radar in English-speaking circles due to the fact that the discussion took place entirely in Czech, a video of his appearance was recently shared to the R. Asmongold Reddit community.
Of course it was.
Where it was subsequently picked up by the YouTuber and shared during one of his live streams.
Mm-hmm.
We can see that video right here titled "Corporations Are Scared of Me."
Yeah, I saw that video and I thought about watching it, but I wasn't sure, so...
I love this thumbnail Asmongold and title, dude. It looks diabolical, but that's like in a good way, you know, not like in an evil way. Like, like corpos. It's not good for corpos, but it's good for gamers, sort of way. You know what I mean? Per a translation of the interview provided by that Reddit user, following a discussion about the long-awaited and soon-to-release Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Vavra told his hosts, quote, "Listen, I've even heard that their big developers / companies are really scared of quote-unquote hate-tubers."
Hate tubers? Hate tubers. I'm sorry. Make better games and we won't hate on them so much. Because there are games that Asmongold loves to play. Like, he loves Marvel Rivals. He's been...
Let's say the kind of guys like the Critical Drinker and Asmongold and others who started criticizing big companies. So the quote-unquote hate-tuber thing, is that what these like alleged corpos are saying? Because that's hilarious, bro. Oh no, they're criticizing our corporation. Those hate tubers, how dare they?
Yeah, they're criticizing our games is now hateful.
Pause plus side note. Look at this gameplay, dude. I set my turret up next to the wall and it freaking like put me having half the turret mixed into the wall. It's so messed up. I thought it was so niche, he explained. Okay, he's Asmongold, got like a few million followers. His videos have some impact, but it's definitely not what everybody is watching.
No.
And now I found out from some people that companies are really terrified of them, and it's really having an impact.
I wouldn't say the companies are... Well, hold on.
I found out from some people that companies are really explained. Okay, he's Asmongold, got like a few million followers. His videos have some impact, but it's definitely not what everybody is watching. And now I found out from some people that companies are really terrified of them, and it's really having an impact.
That's funny. That the companies are actually scared of large YouTubers criticizing their game. And they're scared of these audiences getting told this game is trash. I wouldn't recommend playing it. And instead of making better games, they're just like, no, these people hate us and they've ruined gaming.
That when somebody starts to critique the game in the corporate world, that it does have an impact. Well, yeah, absolutely. That's why I've had in my Twitter bio for ages, Twitter cops and corpos fear me. I mean, they do. They're terrified of us. They got to remember that us gamers, they need us. We don't need them. Most of us could live never buying a new AAA game ever again. We could happily play the old games in our catalog indefinitely. And I'm not saying that like people can't be excited for new releases, but the point is like we don't need those new releases. And on the other hand, these corpos, they need us to buy their products.
Yeah, they need the audiences in... what's the word I'm looking for? They need the audience's willingness to play the game, want to play the game, to buy the game, to succeed. If their games don't sell and their games that they put money into don't sell, then they're losing money.
Turning to offer his own critiques of the industry, Vavra then asserted, quote, "And it's unsustainable how these corporations do it, considering that they've now made games that nobody wanted."
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And they even said it. When those gamers started complaining that they didn't like it and they didn't want that kind of game, the developers started telling them that they were stupid and it wasn't a game for them.
Yeah. That's literally what they started to do. Oh, you don't like this game? Oh, well, you're just dumb and you know the game just clearly isn't for you and you don't know how to play it. Like, that's what they would say.
Which is completely bizarre that you're insulting your own customers. It's not made for you. It's a game for the modern audience. You'll see. We'll show these chud gamers. They're going to regret this. And then you fast forward some months and they're like, what do you mean I'm getting laid off? Why?
Yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean this is happening to me? What do you mean I'm getting laid off? What do you mean I don't have a job anymore? I made a shit tier game and nobody wants to play it.
Did no one buy our game? Offering his thoughts on the interview, Asmongold proceeded to let out his inner Spider-Man and admit that he feels a duty to use his apparent influence responsibly, saying, "I view this as a responsibility. I try to be as fair and critical as I can be and authentic. Now, sometimes this rubs people the wrong way. People don't like what my opinions are.
No.
That's fine. But at the end of the day, I'll do my best to be as authentic as possible. And so if you bring out a terrible game, there will be a YouTube video about it."
Yep. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with making a video about your displeasure in a video game.
Personally, I find that to be a great thing.
Yeah.
Some of these games are terrible. None of us want to buy them. None of us would even play them for free. But we still manage to get entertainment out of it by laughing at it. It's wonderful. And really, that's all a consumer can really ask for of an internet personality like Asmongold. After all, after decades of mainstream gaming publications acting as mouthpieces for the multi-billion-dollar publishers and publishing article after article on, quote, why a latest live service slop is actually great and you're a bigot for not liking it.
Yeah.
Players just want to have
literally.
someone on their side and giving a voice to their concerns.
That's quite literally a thing, is if you don't like something, you're just a bigot, a racist, a phobe.
To be fair, it is impossible to know just how far-reaching Vavra's insight into the industry is, and how many studios really are keeping their ears to the ground when it comes to online backlash, as he understandably declined to name any specifics regarding who, where, and how he learned this information. However, what is known is that Vavra's comments about quote-unquote insulting your own customers is particularly spot on when it comes to the video games industry's current culture. In fact, many studios outright dismiss player feedback and anything other than mindless optimism when it comes to discussing their next AAA multi-million-dollar project. On the note,
that's true. If you like Dragon Age: The Veilguard, if you didn't review it with an 8 out of 10 or above, you didn't get a code.
About confirming this information, there's an interesting post over on Reddit that says, "Here's a post made on Reset Era that confirms this narrative." So Reddit post about Reset Era post. Got it. Okay. So the Reset Era post says, "I've been in the industry for a couple decades."
It really does. It really does seem like they don't like their career, and instead of changing career, they're just blaming gamers.
Sure, I'm being a bit reductive, but I've seen it time and again the last couple years. It's not that the chuds directly impact sales. Unironically using chud, yep, I think we all saw that coming. It's that they dramatically influence the consumer journey and greatly impact discoverability. If you're posting on this forum what some ill-intended YouTubers' videos are not going to have any influence on you. It isn't your primary source of information. It's not how you discover games, and you're already well educated.
Okay, so then you're not the audience intended for those videos. What's the problem?
People are so weird. So criticizing corporations, that automatically makes you a hate-tuber, a chud, and ill-intended, right?
Okay.
But hey, if you
eat
the corporate slop, you're well educated, guys. That's what
so if you like stuff like Dragon Age: The Veilguard or Prince of Persia or whatever, then you're just you're educated. But if you don't like those games and others, then you're a hate tuber.
That's what these people really think. Reset era, man. A game will reach a set of its intended core audience, with or without social media discourse. But in today's day of quadruple A, sales needs due to costs, that's not really enough anymore. The core bases are so fragmented, there's so much choice and so many highly engaging games, that reaching beyond those consumers is never more challenging than it is today. Those consumers rely on social media and YouTube to discover a game.
Okay, but then you should make the game appealing.
So now they're unironically using quadruple A. And they apparently don't see a problem with that. The problem is the people criticizing this stuff, criticizing these corporations. Like, this take is just getting worse and worse. It's making this apparent quadruple A corpo and all of the bootlickers of people like this look even more terrible than they already do. And
it really does. It makes them seem stupid and vapid and unaware of what's going on. It's crazy.
If ill-intended content, monetized outrage, bandwagoning, grifting, etc. is favored by the algorithm, which it is. It's a massive uphill battle to even reach consumers with a message about your game that is intended or pure.
Intended or pure? A message that is intended or pure? Dude, it's a game. How big of a message could you possibly have? It's a game.
Yeah, guys, please buy our quadruple A slop, please. Reset Era supports us, the modern audience supports us, why don't you? We don't run ads in our trailers and gameplay videos. We don't monetize.
In my opinion, Dragon Age Origins was the best of the series. Oh, really? See, I'm not able to play any of those games because they're not accessible, so I don't know.
Our content. We monetize our games. But if people are making money off monetizing your content, there's money to be made outside of the gaming community for creators and platforms. They milk that stuff. It's hard to break through. It's hard to influence the narrative, and that indeed is what affects sales.
Okay.
You used to be able to sponsor content, not to influence sentiment, but at least to get a message through the noise.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. Why else would you sponsor content if not to incentivize it? Like, that's just dumb.
But these days, so many influencers have managed to sow doubt on sponsored content and media integrations, mostly because they were losing out on money. That sponsored content doesn't perform as well, and in fact many creators don't even want to take deals now because they can make more trashing on the game anyway. So yes, when I, albeit without much nuisance, complain about chud or grifter content hampering a game's chance at reaching a larger audience, I'm just really tired of it happening again and again and seeing so many friends lose their jobs over it.
Oh,
sad.
Please. I keep saying this. Make a better game and then this won't happen to you.
Industry is struggling on how to respond to it, especially as gaming creators want to keep being inclusive. I don't think it's a winning battle right now. And the Reddit user who reposted this conversation from Reset Era says, it's afraid. So this is obviously a major win for gamers. And there's also like another win baked in here too. When they talk about at the end,
I don't need or want real world politics in my games. Nope.
Not being sure how to deal with this stuff. That's especially amusing because their old tactic, which they still try nowadays and doesn't work, is, as you know, trying to get their gaming journalist buddies to prop these corporations up, to prop the games up, and to insult and smear the gamers.
Yeah. Please write me a glowing review of this game and shit all over its core audience at the same time.
However, that strategy doesn't really work anymore. A lot of people don't believe these gaming journalists.
Nope.
A lot of them are no longer even in the industry because they got laid off. And ultimately, they brought that all on themselves. They didn't really have a genuine care about gaming. They instead tried to use the industry to make a bunch of money off in very disingenuous ways, what these people would call as grifting, actually. It would define them pretty well. And or use gaming to try and further their own political rhetoric. So yeah, they essentially ruined their own careers and ruined their own reputations by doing this very corrupt stuff. And that's where I'm going to leave this one for today. Hope you all enjoyed the coverage. Thank you so much for tuning in. Consider liking and or subscribing if you did enjoy the coverage. Appreciate you. Let me know what you think about this stuff, and I'll see you in the comments as well as in the next one. Saw this article getting...
So that's insane to me. I'm just... That corporations are actually scared of Asmongold and his opinions on games and on whether or not his audience will listen to his opinions. That's just too crazy to me. That corporations are that worried. That's crazy to me. I can't imagine that. Just like, it just drives me crazy to think that these people are that insane. And you know what else is insane? Is this video about Marvel Rivals. So we're gonna take a look at that. Marvel Rivals has become a threat. And this is, speaking of AAA games that are successful, Marvel Rivals has been doing a really good job in the past few months as a game.
Marvel Rivals is a threat, and I don't think people really understand exactly what's going on here with this game. We are seeing player retention on a scale that we haven't seen since Helldivers 2, and even still then, it's beating out what was a worldwide phenomenon at the time.
That's pretty incredible that it's beating out Helldivers 2. Because Helldivers 2 was an incredibly well-received game. I remember even some of my Mortal Kombat content creators that I watch were talking about Helldivers.
4 new playable characters, 3 new maps, new match types, all kinds of new content that's coming into the game. This game is a major disruption for not only the AAA industry, but also just the live service industry across the board because, well, it's a game that's serving its fans. It's meeting the demands of its audience, and that kind of goes against the creed of many live service games that are out there. They don't really like to give us too much.
No, this breaks the mold for live service games that usually just give you basic, bare bones content, allows new stuff only rarely, like Justice League or Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was the perfect example of a bad live service game. And in fact, $90 game, and it is now free on the PlayStation Store as a deal. That's how badly it's doing.
They usually like to drip feed things a little bit, and it ends up upsetting the fans, and that's one of the reasons why this game is getting so much support. Imagine listening to your audience. Such a foreign topic nowadays.
I know, right?
We're now hearing rumblings or rumors at the very least that there's a PvE mode that's in development as well. So we're going to talk about that. But imagine Blizzard would be in shambles if they actually released one. That would be... NetEase, you could do the funniest thing. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about all things Marvel Rivals, from the new content to its future to those that would stand in the way of its success, and why this game is going to be a problem many can't ignore. We are now 1 month out from the launch of Marvel Rivals, and the game hasn't showed any signs of slowing down or stopping. Historically, when we see a popular game release, live service or not, we tend to see the game surge in the week of its launch, and then players that aren't interested in the game start moving on, and the player count kind of falls to find its dedicated audience.
That's true. That's generally how a game works.
However, In the case of Marvel Rivals, we're seeing the opposite. We're just now a month past its launch, and we're consistently seeing the game hold over 400,000 concurrent players on Steam, less
Wow,
than 50,000 down
that's
from
big.
its peak. Just to put that into perspective, when Helldivers 2 lit the internet on fire earlier last year, its release surged up to 458,000 players and then dropped to 334,000 players after its first month, losing 30% of its players from its peak.
Okay.
Marvel Rivals has lost 9. That is absurd because that
9?
means that this game 34,000
As in 9. As in not 9,000 or 900, but 9. That's insane.
players after its first month, losing 30% of its players from its peak. Marvel Rivals has lost 9. That is absurd because that means that this game is either replacing players that are leaving the game with new players that want to try it out at a near 1-to-1 ratio, or the players aren't leaving the game, which likely it's probably a blend of the two. Players.
I would say it's probably both. I would say there are some players that are like, man, I'm getting bored. But then new players are coming on, and there are also players that are like, this is really awesome. I'm going to continue to play this game.
Are actually sticking around to keep playing the game, and the players that are leaving are getting replaced with new players. And there's a lot of reasons for this game's continued popularity. One of the reasons for this, I think, is that the game is being consumed so much on social media. While I know that there's a lot of people that are out there that don't think social media presence of a game is indicative of its success or its player base, from my perspective, the more people that are consuming content around the game, the more people that are playing it. On Twitch, when the game released, it surged up to 227,000 viewers, many of the biggest channels receiving sponsorships, and some players were just interested in playing the game, and now it's sitting at an average of 100K viewers daily.
That's insane. I wish I could play Marvel Rivals. But apparently I cannot.
Making it one of the top categories
No
on the platform.
accessibility for me.
YouTube videos covering the best plays, the best players, tier lists, and gameplay are totaling millions of views, and Twitter and Reddit are overflowing with fan art and cosplays of the game's heroes. Both the ranked and casual modes in Rivals are thriving, which honestly is pretty rare to see. The casual mode is drawing in all types of players, whether they're just here for fun or just don't want the pressure of ranked matches. At the exact same time, the ranked mode is keeping the competitive crowd engaged, with plenty of players that are grinding to climb the ladder, participating in tournaments, and all kinds of different things.
That's a good balance. You want that in a like fighting game or battle royale type of game. You want that balance of casual and ranked play.
The game is offering something for everyone, and that's why it's working so well. Now the game is getting its first major update with Season 1, featuring 4 new characters in the Fantastic Four. Susan Storm and Mr. Fantastic are up first, and then in the second half of the season, we're going to see the other 2 characters. We're also getting new maps with the Sanctum Sanctorum and Midtown that are going to drop in the first half, and Central Park in the second half.
Nice.
Plus, there's going to be new game modes and objectives, keeping things fresh for the players. And the whole time that they've been developing all of this new content for the game, the developers have been genuinely listening to player feedback, engaging with their community directly, tackling issues in the game, balancing performance issues with characters like Hawkeye and Hela, and bringing up lesser characters like Cloak and Dagger.
I do wish that there were some accessibility settings for my Marvel Rivals, but I do understand how difficult it would be to implement a proper like nav assist, for example, or like cues to show you who's your teammate and who's not, so you don't accidentally kill your teammate. Because that's one of my biggest worries in a battle royale situation, is accidentally killing who's on your team.
They've been cooking. Now we have a prominent leaker for Rivals at Rivals Info on Twitter who's been digging around the game files and has shown off a lot of skins that hadn't made their way into the game and then later did, and more skins that we're likely going to see in the future. Okay. Recently, they shared that they discovered project files for PvE content that's either in development or was cut from the game. While we have no word on what the status of this potential PvE mode is, if Blizzard saw potential in it, then likely NetEase has as well. And honestly, it would be the funniest thing ever if they actually implemented meaningful PvE into the game where Overwatch failed to do so.
That would be funny. That would be very, very funny if this game managed to do PvE at some point.
This is something that genuinely could attract a completely different audience into the game and also give more players a reason to stick around. Now, what's truly fascinating about all of this is that most modern live service games would never and could never deliver on this sort of content or be this ambitious, especially for free. Most live service games, especially shooters, ignore any issues that are in their games. Maybe they will throw in a single player map or minor changes to existing ones. They'll occasionally drop a new character or weapon. Apex Legends, as an example, just revealed their update at the exact same time as Rivals announced their first season, and all they're offering is cosmetics. Oh,
that's it? Just cosmetics in their new update? That's kind of shitty.
Overwatch 2 did the exact same thing. Well, watching a mass exodus from their game, they chose to release recolors of existing skins to try to entice players back to their game. Reading through some of the comments on these announcement videos, you can see an outcry from fans begging them to fix issues within their games, livid that the games that they've invested so much in won't invest in them or even try to fight back against new competition that has stepped into the market.
Yeah, that's true. Like, as a fan of certain games, like, how would you feel if your game didn't even try to court you to come back to play? They're just like, here are some skins that you already have, but look, they're in different colors. Don't you want to play again? It's like, no.
This kind of goes back to a broader topic that I've discussed in the past many times on this channel by now, but many of these modern live service games just don't have the respect for their audience that's necessary to keep players happy or to keep them around. Each update only serves to increase their bottom line by introducing more microtransactions and cosmetics rather than meaningful content or addressing player concerns or just general issues within their games. I mean, look at the state of Call of Duty right now. While Black Ops 6 was received pretty well at launch, it has reportedly lost over half of its players, and it's getting worse by the day. All of
half of its player base. That is crazy. That is crazy. In Black Ops 6 has not been out for very
this is
long.
driven by the fact that players aren't satisfied. They watch as these studios continue to deliver the exact same thing. Nothing changes. There's no advancement. They won't fix issues within their games. They let cheaters run rampant, yet they have no problem releasing cosmetics and new battle passes. Yeah. This sends the signal to the players that your experience or your enjoyment don't matter.
Yeah.
Only your money does.
Yeah. All we want is your money. We don't care about how much you like the game, how much you enjoy the game, how much you wish the game was around, wish the game was better and you're trying to provide us feedback to make it better. No, fuck that. We just want your money.
The biggest threat to the video game industry is the fact that players have learned how to vote with their wallets, and I just love to see it. I love to watch them struggle, and the struggle is going to get real pretty soon here. You have to respect where the money comes from, and many of these studios have lost sight of that. And I think it's just because they've got so comfortable sitting in their C-suite offices, sitting back, drinking their, bottle of water with waifu stickers all over it and saying, these idiots, they'll buy anything.
Yeah. That's just put whatever, they'll buy it. Just do whatever, they'll buy it.
They'll still play it. And they're right, because we're impulsive creatures. It's what we do. But what ends up happening when the game across the street treats us better? You didn't think about that, did you?
No. They didn't think that there would be a developer who actually gave a shit about the game that they made and about the audience that plays it. And look, here's NetEase.
Anecdotal, I know, but I loved Warzone when it first released. I had so much fun playing it. A lot of people get pretty nostalgic about Verdansk, but I also clearly remember how many issues that game had, how often they would go unalleviated, and how easily they would introduce microtransactions and skins and battle passes. How many times the stim glitch came back into the game. Skins that would release that would make players invisible. There was the one time that they had the helicopter glitch and then they fixed it and then it made another glitch happen and then another one and then another one. It went on.
It was a Russian nesting doll of game glitches.
For 3 months. Meanwhile, they never did anything about any of the cheaters in the game. Warzone today still suffers from those same issues. It's the same story because none of those things ever get fixed because they're never a priority, because the players are not a priority. We are the afterthought. It is our money that is the first thing that they want. And the only way they can get that is through microtransactions. But what they don't realize is that if these games are not in the state that they need to be, and you're not feeding the players with good enough content, they're not going to stick around, and you're not going to get the microtransactions if we're not playing the game.
No. If they don't think the game is worth it, do you really think they're going to spend those like $5 on those skin packs or the voice, like the extra voice actor or whatever? No.
That's kind of how this works. When I look around the games industry right now, I see a lot of these live service studios that have gotten fat and comfortable and greedy.
Yeah.
They don't it's like I said before, all they want to do is take. And the only time that they ever want to give back is when their backs are up against the wall. And Marvel Rivals is about to line them all up. Too many live service games are doing the absolute bare minimum while squeezing their players dry with microtransactions and cosmetics, while ignoring real issues within their games. That is the reason why Marvel Rivals is seeing such an outpour of support, is because the players feel like they're heard, they're getting content that's worthwhile to them, and the game has a bright future. It's as simple as that. It's a company that respects where the money comes from and knows what the players want and are delivering on it.
Yeah.
Sadly, there are those that would like to stand in the way of that. In an article written by Jade King titled, "Marvel Rivals Has Too Many Heroes for Its Own Good," they go on to detail a litany of issues that they have with the game and why they believe it should take notes from Overwatch.
Is this the same article that was read by Hero Hey the other day?
Jade writes, Marvel Rivals arrived with one hell of an impact, but as the dust clears, some obvious flaws are now plain to see. The lack of role queue is one major omission, and is already making effective team play an impossibility when playing with strangers.
Why? Why? When Pincalo plays Rivals, I don't see him complaining about his teammates.
Unless you want to switch to Vanguard or Strategist of your own accord to salvage an ailing match, you'll end up losing. This is a problem with Overwatch 2, but role queue has made it much easier for you to form teams you know have a decent chance of winning if you work together. No Limits asks you to throw this aside for some chaotic fun where emerging victorious doesn't matter, but in Marvel Rivals, that is the only way to play. So it's impossible not to criticize. Right now, I spend games playing support out of obligation, preventing me from trying out other heroes.
So that's a you problem. That's literally a you problem. If you spend all your time playing support, that's your choice. Nobody's making you do that. That's what you've chosen to do.
The lack of role queue isn't a flaw, it's the game's strength.
Yeah.
Rivals gives players the freedom to play and adapt, rather than forcing them into a pigeonhole because they were too late to join a match or they were too late to pick a hero.
Yeah. You can still pick a hero in the middle of your game, which I think is kind of cool.
Meanwhile, Overwatch 2 has made people miserable with its role queue, and players have been complaining about it for years. This reeks of somebody that's trying to drag Marvel Rivals down to Overwatch's level of mediocrity. If they can't see that freedom is exactly what makes this game great, then they're complaining just for the sake of it.
But I think that's what they're doing. I think they are sitting here and whining for just the sake of sitting here and whining about a game that is doing very well.
From my perspective, not every game has to be specifically tuned so that you can roleplay as an esports player in your 30s. I've seen many people posing the question as to why Marvel Rivals is succeeding right now, and Tim Sweeney put it perfectly, fun. That's the reason why people are playing this game, and trying to bog it down with competitive tools isn't going to make it any better. I don't know about everybody else, but I am sick and tired of every single third-person and first-person shooter becoming a toxic sweat fest. I'm average at these kind of games. I know I'm not that good at them, but I just like to have fun playing them.
There is a space for competitive play, obviously, but you don't, not everybody is a competitive player, and they are not going to want to play at the same level as a competitive player, and I think having the opportunity for that balance is great.
Vast majority of people are average or below. And catering to the competitive end of these games is exactly how you push out the average player. The writer then goes on to discuss how Marvel Rivals is a hero shooter built on one of the most iconic licenses in gaming, but argues that the game being free to play creates an unrealistic expectation for players to simply enjoy being the heroes without needing to learn complex mechanics and understand their roles.
This is the same article that the Hero Hey covered. Yeah, so this is ridiculous to say that that a free game makes it so that you can't learn your character. That's dumb.
They complain that the game's focus on mechanical skills disrupts the power fantasy that would be enjoyed by single-player games like Spider-Man or Batman, where the challenge is just personal gratification. The conclusion that the writer comes to is that even during its beta period, the roster was stacked with a staggering number of playable heroes and villains to choose from. In the lead-up to its launch, more additions were confirmed for the roster, making it hard to determine who I would main and if I would even have enough time to learn the ins and outs before their release.
Dude, just pick somebody and learn them. Nobody's stopping you from trying out different characters.
Turns out that I didn't. And now the sheer act of playing Marvel Rivals is daunting. Once again, I find myself comparing it unfavorably to Overwatch. Overwatch launched with 21 heroes, while Rivals stepped out of the gate with 33, just 11 shy of how many Overwatch 2 has now. And it isn't an original universe, as it has decades of media to draw from when it comes to its roster, but that also means that there is less potential for future additions, and some of its biggest names can't be capitalized on because they've been here the entire time.
That's a bunch of crap.
For the first few years of its existence, Overwatch turned each new hero into a legitimate event. You would follow each update and tease.
Yeah, this is the same article that we covered already. So, yeah, it's insane to me. Just listening to people like this complain about a video game that has a lot of choices. A lot of choices to choose from. It has too many choices. I don't like this game. It has too many choices. There's too much content for a free-to-play game. What the hell is wrong with these people? How can they bitch about a free-to-play game having that much content? That's pathetic. That's insane. I just don't understand the mindset of people sitting here going, there's too much content in a video game. I don't understand. If I could play Marvel Rivals, I totally would. It sounds like it's a lot of fun. But it also sounds very chaotic. Just listening to the different sounds and everything, it sounds very like there's a lot going on in each match, and without the use of a nav assist and a screen reader and everything, I would be completely lost. So that's why I don't play Marvel Rivals, but my Pinkalo and the kids do. And they really like it. Yeah, they really, really enjoy it. Alright, guys. I think that that brings us to the end of all of the videos I have for us. And I think I'm going to bring this Saturday Variety to an end. You'll see me later on Twitch. We're going to see if I can finish the Secrets of the Haradrim quest. Maybe even finish Act 1 tonight, which would be awesome. So make sure you're following twitch.tv/blindpress, and I will see you guys later on tonight. Not sure what time, but I will be there. So make sure you have your notifications turned on. Alright, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you check out the links in the description for mugs and everything, and Patreon. And I will see you guys later tonight. Alright, you have a wonderful evening. Bye, guys.